Yeah.
Shoot. Give me an intro. Yo, guys! Okay, hey guys, welcome back to the official Dillon Shane YouTube channel. And we're gonna go over the parts that I've got for the Trans Am right now. So this is a Art Morrison frame. This is a complete one-piece frame. And this is what's gonna set this build apart from anyone else's build. Even people that have a frame for their cars, this is even more unique than that. Because typically on your Trans Ams and your F-bodies, your Camaros, they're a subframe, and this is the front of the frame. So typically your frame ends right here, then you have to connect the frame through the body. They call it subframe connectors to the rear end. And that's why when you see the cars, typically the hoods don't close right, the doors don't shut right. It's because the body twists over time, and the strength's just not there no matter what you do. You see a lot of roll bars in them, and we're not going for a race car. This is going to be a daily driven car, so we're not trying to go race harness, Dale Earnhardt style. So this is, like I mentioned, this is the AME frame, but this has independent rear suspension, which is very uncommon going under these cars. I've seen a couple builds. Someone has stuck a C5 Z06 under a Trans Am, and I think that's awesome, because that's even a rear mount transmission, but that's not something that's easily done. Neither is this, but sticking another car, you know, this is built for a Trans Am. It's not a C5 Corvette that you're putting a body on. But, so like I mentioned, independent rear suspension. I'm not sure on the rear end ratio right now, but, you know, obviously the guy that we bought this from, he knows all about it. He's got the history on it. But it's got all your plugs for your ABS controls, or brake controls, whatever, ABS sensors, whatever. It's set up for coilover. We can throw it on bags if we wanted to. But I've got I believe the springs are right here for the suspension, and we got some floor pans and stuff. And again, this is going to have to be laid over, and then the body's going to have to be fitted to it, and taken off and fitted to it, and taken off and fitted to it. And all these will be inside the rocker panels of the car. It's not going to sit below the car. The car's going to be sitting around this frame to, you know, make it sit right. So there's going to be a lot of fab going on there. And so these floor pans, I believe they're 16 gauge. They're a little bit thicker than your regular floor pan. So the floor is going to be a completely flat floor. It's not going to be ribbed or anything like that. So it's going to look really clean, and we're going to figure out what the interior and all that kind of stuff on it. Okay, so the story on how all this happened, there was somebody that lives right down the road, or there's a shop right down the road from here. They were building a 79 anniversary Trans Am for somebody, which is the silver Trans Am, T-tops, whatever. And something happened and they canceled the build. So we had the opportunity to buy all these parts from them. And so we got a Smokey deal and all this stuff. So we got these JRI shocks, and that's why I don't know. That's why I don't have all the answers to all these questions. I don't know. I didn't order this stuff.
Right.
But got some Foose wheels, and we have Reagan right here. She's checking them out, making sure they're good to go.
They're in spec.
Yeah, they're within spec. They're probably balanced. Yeah. Are they balanced?
You got any opinion on that, Reagan?
Oh, she said it to the brakes.
We're gonna check the brakes.
Okay. So yeah, these are the part of the package. This is Wheelwood brakes. They're 6-piston front, 4-piston rears, just like your Z06 Corvettes are. And I'm sure there's a lot of other cars that have 6 fronts, 4 rears. But gorgeous brakes, red.
Oh yeah.
I'm not sure if I would choose red for a black and gold car, but I may live with it. You know, I may not, have other things to complain about than Wheelwood brakes.
Right.
I'm gonna piss it at myself. Got it going on. So those are 6 fronts and they're 4 rears. They match.
Yeah.
But and your hats. See, this is so fresh to me. So like brakes are just multi-piece because like we're used to just throwing a complete rotor on a car.
Right.
Just being done, but this is like 40 pieces. Got all the bolts and stuff. But this was unique. I haven't taken this out much, but the rotors are actually black.
Nice.
So they're pre-painted, no rust.
Oh yeah.
They'll rub off silver, I guess. You know,
Right.
It makes sense. The finish rub off. But that's cool. So you have to bolt your brakes together. That seems sturdy. I guess. I don't know. So that's awesome that we got all this and we got the complete setup. I looked up the sheet. It was like $10 for all this.
Right,
Someone
yeah.
paid for it.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But back on the Foosh wheels again. I don't want these wheels, guys. If you want them, let me know.
Yeah.
They're a F222 cut. This is a 19 by 12, and I got the fronts are 18 by 11s, I think. But smooth finish.
These are some big boys. What are the...
I think it's a 335.
325.
325.
Yeah.
30 19s.
Mm-hmm.
Pilot Super Sports. The tires are old, but they're pretty pricey.
Still, yeah.
But again,
Yeah, if you want them.
that's not the style for the car. They're
Yeah.
gonna be snowflakes, so I don't need these. They've never been mounted. And also, I've called shops that build these wheels. They're on a 15-week back order. I can get them to you in 15 hours. You know, so just let me know.
Yeah.
Hey, if you want them that bad,
Yeah.
we'll get them sold.
Yeah.
But,
you got do you have a roundabout price?
Yeah. Okay. So I'll be real with you. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you, Chief. They say that these cost around $7,000 to be built, just the wheels, on a 15-week lead time. I would sell everything for $5,500. Wheels, tires, and I got the lug nuts. And if you really want them, just shoot me an offer.
Yeah.
Because again, I don't want them.
Yeah.
But also the offsets. The rears are a plus 35 and the fronts are a plus 25 offset. I measured them myself, so that plus or minus a couple millimeters.
Mm-hmm.
But that made sense to me.
So bolt pattern?
5 on 4.5.
Okay.
Again, what's that millimeters? I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm American. I don't care. But okay, so back on the frame, we're just going back and forth here a lot. It has not been painted. They don't come painted because they don't know what color you want.
What color? What are you thinking?
Okay,
Just
yeah, that's
straight black or?
See, yeah, probably not. See, that's the
Okay.
thing. We want it to stand out because, like, from this angle, all this independent rear suspension, it looks like it just looks like woven metal.
Mm-hmm.
We're probably gonna do like a heavy metal flake, black, gold, or maybe like I'm not sure, maybe something like a titanium color. I have no idea.
Okay.
But definitely want to be able to see it and be like, yo, what's that underneath there? It's like, oh, that's my IRS on the Trans Am. Like, yo, that's sick, right?
Right.
So that's going to go on. And something else was mentioned. I do know up here, this piece of metal here, it's probably going to be difficult to see until we get out of the crate. But this is where your engine would go. And I was told that it took like, someone overseas had to bend this piece of metal with a press. They couldn't. This is all one piece versus it being welded. And I don't know the full story on that. Just giving you secondhand. Maybe some metal guys know what I'm talking about. Bending metal without it. There's no crease or kinks anywhere.
Right.
I don't know. But manual or automatic transmission tunnels. So we're open for options there, but it's going to be a manual, so it don't matter.
Yeah.
So I got an automatic transmission tunnel for sale as well. $100. We'll get it. So that's probably, I'm sure I'm forgetting something. That's probably that's most of it. But the next step, like I mentioned, is going to be laying this over safely because it's like super heavy, and then fitting the body to the frame because it's going to be picked up and lowered, and the tub's going to be cut out. And so we're excited for that. But very fortunate to have this frame right now. I've told all my friends it's one of one. It's the only one on the planet. Braggadocious Gere over here. Okay, whatever. But so it'll be cool, and we're excited to do it. We're very fortunate to have it, and the shocks and brakes and the wheels, and my buddy Dalton over there.
Chilling.
But again, there's Reagan and Garrett, Kenworth, and so that's instead of Fred the dog, it's just gonna be Reagan.
Come here, Reagan. Should be changing gears before most of you.
Jeez. Got me and Reagan just rolling around over here.
Taking rollers or what?
Yeah.
fire.
Fully painless.
Okay, so the history on the Kenworth, other than the whole Smokey and the Bandit thing, which is what we're going for, but the actual, like that Kenworth that's up at the barn. Well, 5 years ago, and we'll insert a clip here. Bam! we was then, me and my dad, we'd go all over Alabama. We would do water wells and stuff. So we're just driving down the road, and there was an 18-wheeler for sale, and it was like Snowman's rig. So I saw, I was like, yo, there's Snowman's rig for sale. Didn't think nothing about it. We didn't even stop to look at it. We just drove by it, and went on about our day. But after we found it again, which was down the road from here, about 15 minutes, we knew the property where it was sitting. So we called the guy. I was like, hey, would you sell it? He's like, yeah. So anyway, long story short, we got the truck. But there's a page on Facebook. It's for Kenworth, on that model Kenworth, and I posted it, and a guy commented, said, hey, I know the truck. And we're like, yo, sick. So like, tell me about what you know about the truck and all this stuff. And on the doors and everything, it says Speedy Ball Racing. So to everyone that doesn't know, speedball is actually a old-timey drug that 18-wheeler drivers would use to stay awake all night, to drive all night. So we're kind of like, yeah, this is a sketchy kind of a situation. But we found out that this guy Speedy Ball, which is actually that's his name because it's on the title. It's not a business name. He is a drag racer. He was a drag racer through the 70s and the 80s, and that was his truck to haul around his cars. So all of its life, that truck has been from drag strip to drag strip, just hauling race cars.
Mm-hmm.
And which is awesome because that's kind of our intentions with it too, was just to go racetrack to racetrack. Not necessarily hauling cars, but just going from drag strip to drag strip, because we're going to be part of our friend Jacob's business where he's putting on events at drag strips across the southeast of America. So that's huge. But on top of that, we not only did we find the guy that he knew the history, but we've gotten in contact with one of the friends of Speedy Ball, and he gave me his phone number. So maybe we can get a phone call or go visit Speedy and get some information on the truck. Like, hey, maybe some old photos would be sick.
Right.
But we're just doing an investigation of this truck, which has a lot more history, because it's cool to buy an old truck, but it's a lot more to know what the truck did, where it came from.
Right.
And it's a local truck. It's from Anniston, which is about an hour and a half from here. But it used to go to Montgomery Drag Strip, which we're there 2-3 times a year. So it's going to be cool to be able to drive it back and say, hey, this truck's been here since the 70s,
right.
Since the late, early 80s, whatever, because it's a 79. But well, I have some pictures of Speedy's race car. It was a funny car, but it had doors that opened, so it was just I think it might have been a Camaro, I'm not really sure. But again, tons of history on the truck, on the engine. It's been engine swapped. We got the information on that, but it's just really cool to be able to. Those guys are still. I think he's 91.
Wow.
So we're going to try to reach out to him as soon as possible.
That'd be so cool.
Yeah, and it'd be cool. It'd be super sick to go to his house or something. So anyway, my buddy Dalton. We'll get more information on the truck and we'll talk more about it. But on the Trans Am, again, I mentioned it on one of the last videos. I was 17, or actually, I was 12 when I found it, and my dad wouldn't buy it for me. He wanted like $5,000 for it at the time, and yeah, dang, couldn't get a Trans Am at 12 years old. But then at 17, I had cut grass all summer and I had $1,000 saved up. And I went to the guy and said, hey, this thing's been sitting here for 5 years. Sell it to me, I got $1,000. And it worked out. And I've got some photos of that. Maybe one of those, if not, whatever. I don't have any videos of it running. I used to have some on my old BlackBerry. But, so anyway, I bought that car, 17. I was 17 when I bought it, if you haven't heard me yet. But
He was 17.
yeah, 17. I believe I was 17. It was a Wednesday. Anyways, and a friend of mine actually had a 78 Trans Am as well, so that was cool having them together. I got a photo of that. We'll put in there maybe. But but it's like I said, it's a Hearst T-top car versus the Fisher T-tops, which is the size is different, whatever. The guy that previously owned it, this is just secondhand information. This is probably as true as anything else.
Yeah.
But I was told that the guy that had it would like run from the cops as like a modern day bandit. That's probably not the truth.
Yeah.
Because those things are slow.
Yeah.
Had a 200 horsepower engine in it.
Right.
Yikes. But no, I mean, so the condition of the car, we took the whole car was together, and we took everything out of it. It's numbers matching. Everything's numbers matching on it. The engine, transmission, and the rear end's all original to the car, and everything. All that's for sale. We're not using it. It's gonna need all new floor pans, but we got the floor pans. But because it sat out in the field that it was in, it sat out there with only one T-top. So it got rained in, the whole interior was shot. There's nothing I could keep interior-wise. I should have kept the front fenders, because only the bottoms was rusted out of that, but I mean, we're just gonna buy new. But my whole time envisioning this car being built, I didn't know this existed. My whole goal was like, I'm gonna get the subframe and subframe connectors and just do what everybody else has been doing. But this is just gonna absolutely hit different when we're done. But my goal has always been I want to do carbon fiber on the hood, and I want the hood to open like a Corvette would, because thankfully I've just always had Corvettes. I just like the way they open. But with the bird on the hood, it just makes sense. When you open the hood, the bird should be present versus hidden. So that's always been my envision. But inside the bird, instead of black, that carbon show. So because my thing was gonna be a carbon Trans Am. That's what I wanted, a carbon edition, because no one's built that.
Right.
There's a company, I forget the name of it. They build front fenders, inner fenders, front bumper covers, rear trunks, and also I just cannot stand convertible cars. And T-tops, like glass tops, they just burn it. It's just why pay so much money for a car and get sunburned by it? So I want to make some carbon T-tops that are just, they're not transparent, but they'll look sick.
Mm-hmm.
So we got some unique plans for it.
For sure. What about motor-wise? I know you're wanting to do twin turbo.
Yeah. See, I'm drawing a blank. I don't know. I'm not a YouTuber. But so on top of that, on the history of Trans Am, there was in '81 there was a turbo Trans Am. It was black and gold, just like the Bandit cars, whatever. But it didn't have a shaker. It just had a raised hood, and that was for your boost gauge. It had like boost charge 1, 2, 3. It's kind of cheesy, but it was cool. But in that, and to kind of connect that, I wanted to do a twin turbo Trans Am, because then I could make a logo on the back that said twin turbo Trans Am, because it's kind of historical. That's part of what they used to do. But now I'm not so sure if I'm going to do the turbo thing or not, because I don't need 1,000 horsepower. If I want to daily drive this thing, I don't want to have to, burn out at every red light, or burn up clutches or whatever. And I know that's not really an issue, but that's kind of extreme for me. I'm thinking 600, 700, 800 horsepower would be plenty, because I'm not trying to set records. I'm not trying to beat Porsche 911s.
Mm-hmm.
Their 0 to 60 time. I'm just trying to have fun and look cool doing it,
Right.
And so we're thinking like maybe LT4, which is the new Z06 engine has that, or the C7 rather. But then those are supercharged. And then I got to thinking, I kind of want to do naturally aspirated, but rev to like 8,000. So I'm thinking like NASCAR engine, something like that. I want something that I can just rev to the moon, and then like with a straight cut gears, whatever that's called.
Yeah, like a dog box.
Yeah, something like that. You use the clutch on first, and then you just yank, and it just I just want that raw, because I think supercharged and naturally, twin turbos, that's awesome, that's sick. Everybody loves to see it and loves to hear it. But I think there's just something different about having a naturally aspirated engine that can just rev to 8.5. Dude, that's just awesome.
Oh yeah.
But probably it's gonna be a 6-speed, maybe a 5-speed. I'd preferably have 6, just to have that 6 as an overdrive, going down interstates and stuff. Because again, our goal in this is to do trips in it, to go places and be reliable. And if I need parts, if I need to stop by AutoZone, I can't get turbo fins, or I know nothing about turbos, okay? But I'm just saying, I can't get blow-off valves and stuff like that from AutoZone. If I can get some carburetor parts, probably gonna be fuel injected. But if I need to get some sort of parts, like stop by AutoZone, hey, I need some spark plugs. I don't need to have certain temperature spark plugs for my
Right.
my turbos. It's
Turbo.
not going to fire right. Just, you know. But anyways, this is what we're trying to explain, that the Kenworth is going to be more movie correct. This is going to be more like just off the chain wild, but it'll be black and gold. It'll have the snowflake wheels. I'm not using these.
Yeah.
It's going to look the part on the outside, but underneath and inside, it's just going to be awesome.
Have a nice
So that-
custom twist to it.
Yeah, but it'll be tastefully done. It'll be done correctly. I'm not trying to be weird with it. So that's why this car is it's not gonna be done before the Kenworth. It's just not. It's just gonna have a lot of time, and I don't know how to fit the frame to the car to this frame. So the guy that's down the road, and we'll have him on video. He said he's cool to be on video. He is just a genius. He has built SEMA cars. He has like if I can find a picture, he has like a 56 Corvette, and it's all the patina still there. But I believe he has one of these frames underneath it. So it looks old, but he's got all this new stuff and his late model engine and stuff. Sick. Also, I think it's a 6-speed also. But this car is going to be done when it's done. And then, but the Kenworth, we're shooting for a year and a half. I mean, if less, that's awesome. But optimistically, that's going to be easy. It's just everything on it's big. And this is going to be difficult, and everything on it's just complex. I mean, for me. But I mean, there's more details than this that I haven't spoken about. But that'll be the meat and potatoes for our videos now, and this will be some cool videos when it's time to do it. I'd love to do it in here where that blue truck's sitting, but we gotta have a place for the blue truck to stay inside, because it's like a time capsule, that truck is. But we appreciate you, really all of us appreciate you guys hanging out, and we're fortunate to have Dillon as our YouTube representative.
Yeah.
And so catch you guys on the next video, I hope, and tell your friends, and then tell their friends.
And then email them too.
Yeah, email them, postcards.
Yeah.
You know, we're going to drop, our merch is dropping soon, blue shoes. I don't know, we're just hanging out. But we'll catch you guys later. And Reagan, can you say bye to everybody?
Say adios.